I'm Nick Woolage. I'm a recording and mixing engineer based in London, and we're at British Grove today. The library that we're working on is some Superball articulations on more traditional stroke, better known percussion instruments such as gongs, timps, thunder sheets, that kind of thing. The first time I worked here, I went home with the abiding feeling that somebody with quite a lot of money had had a terrible day in the studio somewhere and went home and said, right, I am going to design a studio. I'm going to leave no stone unturned. I'm going to design and build the best studio ever built. And to some extent, I think they very much succeeded. I think this place is just incredible for a large number of reasons. It was very well thought out, very well designed acoustically. The attention to detail, like for instance, there's a button here that you can close the door to the studio with. That's the kind of attention to detail that makes a big difference. And obviously, you know, the equipment speaks for itself. Really, the integration of the old valve equipment, vintage equipment, and you know the sort of modern contemporary technology is all just very well thought out. Really, it works. Everything works. It's very comfortable. So yeah, I sound like I'm promoting British Grove. Well, I'm not. It's just an amazing studio. One of the exciting things about this opportunity was to exploit the extensive collection of mics that British Grove have. The mic selection is, the mic cupboard is basically an Aladdin's cave for an engineer. And to be slightly experimental, but not too experimental. I think it was, I mean, the opportunity to record a multi-track, which is relatively wide, and experiment within that, but also to have a fairly good idea from experience of what's likely to work and what we're likely to use in the mix, was like I say, it was a great opportunity. So so there's a number of things we discussed with me and the guys from Sonixinema discussed early on about the perspectives that we wanted to record, and we decided there would be 4 levels, really, 4 perspectives. And within each of those, I wanted to present some sort of contrasting techniques and colours, really. I think there are 2 aspects of being a recording engineer, not so much a mixing engineer, but a recording engineer. One is obviously the sound that you capture and reproduce. And the other is the actual management of the process. Largely, the performer probably, obviously, is concerned about the former, the sonics of what comes out at the end of the day, but they're probably more concerned with being made comfortable, being allowed to do what they do, focus on being able to perform as best they can. And that's really the sort of latter part of what I was describing, really, in the engineer's role, which is to facilitate that performer to do what he or she does, almost transparently, really. So, I mean, you know, in the instance of one player playing a percussion instrument, then there's relatively few parameters. I don't need to worry about complicated headphone balances or separation or any of those things, which you would do in a group recording context. But still, we need to think about, you know, as basic as things like Joby's physical ability to play. You know, obviously that speaks for itself, really. But it's not. Although I have a huge cage of mics all around him, he still actually has to be able to perform without thinking about that. So that's one aspect. But generally speaking, it's about making him feel like he can do his thing in his time, and my end of things doesn't have to interfere with that. It has to be completely transparent, really.